Friends, I wanted to just do a quick video to help with how to best understand process in a system for creating a tagging system inside of Logos Bible Study software. Some of you might be wondering, well, who is this guy? Well, I am Mike Colburn, and I am just one of the coaches at Brave Daily. I am a lay minister. I do not have a Minister of Divinity. I just enjoy studying the Bible, and I want to help each of you understand a method, a process to organizing your library and being able to utilize this tagging system both inside your library as well as in your note-taking system. So let's get started with today's conversation. I'm going to jump straight in. The method that I've put together is called BB drops, and I know it sounds a little bit odd, but I will explain the method and the process. There's a method to the madness. Each of these letters represent a particular category inside the tagging system. So the first B represents book types. These are categories of books. The second one is the Bible book, so a section of the Bible. I'm going to give you some examples of what this looks like. The third stands for denomination. So the book is either affiliated with a particular denomination or maybe it's in a denominational Logos set. So that's to help you understand as you increase your library size that you know that it's a part of a denomination. The third is realm. Realm is the area of biblical study, or it can also include an author that you want to tag or categorize. The @ symbol represents location, and we really don't use this particular tag unless you're using it for notes. So if you're doing tagging inside of notes, you'll use the @ symbol. That will help you understand where you took the physical note, whether it be at home or at work or coffee shop or different locations that you tend to work on Logos quite a bit. The next one is projects. So if you're working on specific projects inside of your study, and I'll explain these in great depth, but that will specify the project that's being worked on. The second to last one is subject. This is going to be the main and primary use. You're going to tag possibly dozens of different subjects, maybe even hundreds of different subjects, depending on how deep you go into your study with Logos. But there's going to be additional tags that are used, whatever you think appropriate for the topic or for the subject matter that you're studying. The last is status, and this is specific to reading status or books that you've finished reading. And I'll show you how to use each of these. It is simple, but it's easy to remember because you can remember BB drops is the method. So what do each of these mean? So book type is going to be things like Bible commentary, bibliography, dictionary, lexicon, lectionaries, courseware, Logos manuals, devotionals. Again, these are just examples. We'll provide an actual document for you that will have all of these kind of laid out. The next one, book type. This can be, these are going to be labeled and separated in several different categories. So you've got the whole Bible, you've got specific books like Genesis and Esther, you've got wisdom literature, major and minor prophets, Old Testament, New Testament, the Apocrypha, Pauline epistles, the Gospels. Again, these are just some examples of what this category might represent. Again, there are dozens of denominations in this tagging system. But here are some examples that we've got in here. You might want to tag all the books that are Lutheran books or Jewish Messianic books or Church of God, Seventh-day Adventist, Wesleyan, Calvinist. So that D is what's going to represent the denomination. Realm, there's lots of different realms. Okay, again, just some examples. You might want to categorize theology or grammar, apologetics, language, religion, different history categories or homiletics. Okay, location is very basic. I generally only use 3. It would be church, home, and coffee shop. That's where I do most of my work. But you know, if you've got other locations, places, specific locations that you like to go to do some digging into the Word, that's what this would be utilized for. Next one would be projects. So here are some examples of projects that I have that I'm working on. So it might be creating a Bible study series. It might be sermon outlines that you're wanting to do, sermon prep, sermons themselves that you've got as projects or sermon series, small group studies that you're working on, speeches. So those are all different types of projects. These are projects that are relative to you. So you'll only use this particular tag if a particular book or a particular note or set of notes are designated for a specific project that you're working on. Last is subjects. Again, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of these inside the spreadsheet that we're going to share with you. But these are some examples. So a subject matter might be anger, a particular author. You know, if you have a subject matter that's related to an author, Christology, family, law, Jesus, birth, Trinity, worship. Again, there are dozens of these that you could utilize. The last one is status, and the symbol that we're using for that is just a period. I'll show you how that works. We're going to use this to remind us or tag around books that are already finished, books that you're currently reading, books that are being read on specific topics, and then of course there's the default Logos for the Logos Read Later feature that connects to reading plans. And so I'll share with you how that works as well. How does this work? Okay, we have a prefix that we use that's connected to the actual tag, and I'll give you some examples for each of them. Okay, so the prefix for the first B, okay, which represents a Bible or a book type, is BT. So we're leaving the prefix in lowercase, so BT dot, and then we do the tag. So the tag would be Bible English. Okay, so if we're tagging, for example, all of our Bibles that are English Bibles, then this is the tag that we would put. This is the appropriate tag we would put with it. Notice that all of my tags, the words are capitalized. We want to keep everything the same. So BT dot Bible English. If we're doing a Bible book, for example, like Genesis, you'll see that the tag has a numerical number and it has the book itself, and it's abbreviated. Okay, so if I was tagging books that relate to Genesis, I would do BB.03 Genesis. You'll see why I have the number 03. It's not going to be 01. You'll see why that is in a second. Denomination is just D dot whatever denomination that you want to put. So it might be denomination Baptist, denomination Lutheran, denomination Seventh-day Adventist, denomination Catholic. Whatever it might be, again, those words are capitalized. The realm is signified by an R, and so we would just do R dot grammar or R dot, apologetics, R dot theology, and whatever the theology Calvinist, whatever that might be. The at symbol is very basic, so it's just at home, at church, at coffee shop, or specific coffee shop. We've got Onyx Coffee Lab here. You might do a tag that says at Onyx. P represents project, so if you're working on a Bible study series project, you could do P dot Bible study series. S represents subject, so if you're doing wanting to tag all of your books on ethics, again, you might have several of these tags. It might be that these books are commentaries, and so BT dot commentary, and then you might also have it in the realm of language, and then you might also have it in the subject matter of ethics. And then the period, the dot, is for status, and so if you're doing books that you're reading, it would be dot books reading. Okay. Again, here's an example out of the spreadsheet. These are a lot of the book types that I've already got categorized. I don't use all of these. That's not the point. The point is that you have them and you'll want to use them for searching and referencing. Okay, so if you're wanting to tag all of your, for example, if you're wanting to tag, let's say, all of your commentaries, okay, this is the tag type that you're going to use, BT dot commentary. If you're wanting to tag all of your book types that are lexicons, this is the particular tab type that you would use, okay? Now, you'll see also these are some examples for denomination. These are examples for realm. So this is an extensive list. The actual spreadsheet I think is 6 or 7 pages. You do not need to use all of them, but I would suggest that you go to the spreadsheet, look up the type that you're looking for. If there is a tag already in there, use that particular tag. If it's not, then you can add it to the list, okay? All right, so let's kind of, what does it look like in action? What does it look like? And so I'm going to put on the screen my Logos Bible Study software just so you guys can see, and I'll show you what it looks like in action. So when you're in Logos, a little shortcut key to open up your library is Control L. So if you open up with Control L, it's going to open your library in an independent window. And so a couple of things I want, first of all, to just give you kind of a heads up on. A lot of you may not have your info panel opened yet. When you're doing tagging, you want to make sure that you have your info panel opened, and you also want to make sure that you have the sidebar open. Okay? The sidebar is what opens this section right down here. Okay? So you'll notice that if I click that sidebar, it goes away. So you want to make sure you have the sidebar open. You want to also make sure that you have the info panel on the upper right hand corner open. This info panel, if you click into one of your books, you'll notice that the info panel gives you a section for tagging. Okay, this tagging right here is what we want to pay attention to. A couple things to note. Above this line are the tags that I have put. Below the line are tags that the community has put for this particular book. Okay, so on the left-hand side with the sidebar menu, you're going to notice a section. I want you to open the tag section. The tag section will show you my tags and community tags. Okay, one helpful thing to remember with community tags is that they can help you categorize things that the community at large has kind of already come to an agreement on. I believe that any tags that are used the same over 8 or 10, I don't know the exact number, it becomes a community tag. Okay, so these tags can be helpful. You'll see that there are 4,800 books in my library that the community has tagged theology. Okay, so I'm going to use that as a way of kind of helping myself tag items inside the book, now inside of my library. Now remember, I'm going to bring up my tagging system, okay, real quick. Here's the spreadsheet. You'll see that there's different sections. I've got book type. You'll see down here denomination. You'll see down here we've got realm, okay. So if I'm categorizing these book types, or if I'm looking for theology books, for example, I'm going to do a Control F in my lookup, and I'm going to type in theology. And you're going to notice that here's all of my theology tags inside of the spreadsheet, okay? I have a tag right here that's already notated theology, okay? So I'm going to use in the realm section, R dot, theology is what I'm going to use for all of these tags that I'm about to tag that are community tags, okay? So I'm going to click community. You'll notice in the upper left-hand corner, I have sorted. All of my library is sorted, 4,817 results that are tagged. The community has tagged theology. Now, one quick key here. Do not click in the title section, okay? If you click this title, it will open the book. You want to click outside of that anywhere over here so that you select the book. You'll notice it brings up the tag. And then I'm going to group tag all of these since the community has tagged these as theology related books. I'm going to group tag these. So on a PC, you're going to hit Control A. I believe it's Command A on a Mac. I don't use Macs much at all. But if you do Control A, you'll notice that all of these books, give it a second, are highlighted. Okay, you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner now we have 4,800 selected, and we have a slew of different tags. Now again, I've already gone through the majority of my library and tagged them, okay? But I just want to show you how this works, okay? You'll notice that down here, all of my different tags, you can add a tag. So you would do r.theology, okay, as the tag. You would click that tag. Now, when you're typing something, okay, I'll do it without the capital. You'll notice that in the top, there's ones that have already been created. In the bottom is the one that if I were to click this, it would create a new tag that's not capitalized on theology. I don't want to do that. I want all of mine to be capitalized, okay? So you'll notice that up here, if you scroll up r.theology, I'm going to find it here, you'll notice that r.theology is already got 4,817 tags, okay? Or 4,817 books are tagged as theology. So you're going to have to go through your books don't do it one by one. Start out using the community tags. When you're done with that particular community tag, you're going to click the X in the upper left-hand corner to clear the filter. Now we're back to the main screen. Give it just a second. Now we're back to the main screen where we've got all of our results, and now we can continue to tag, okay? Now, I'm going to show you one little tool that's helpful. If some of you are already using tags, you can, in the filter panel, you can click search, and you can click, you can search none. So you'll see in here, under my tags, I've got 511 of my books that have not been tagged yet. So I'm going to click on that filter. Now I'm only working with books that have not been tagged, okay? Now, one helpful tool, again, I like to use the community tag as a way of helping me determine what to tag. And then if there aren't any community tags, then I go in and actually look at the information on the book and decide what the tag might be for it. If you do not have this column, community tags, in the columns section, right click, and you'll be able to see the different columns that you can put together. So some of you might not have the columns tagged. Just right click, click columns. It might be all the way on the right hand side. If it is, you can drag these columns, okay, very easily without any difficulty, okay. I'm going to actually move the subject column over. I'll show you why in just a second, okay. So now we have basically the language column. I've got the title column. I've got my tags, which all of these, again, are items that haven't been tagged. And I've got the community tags. Now, if you click one of these columns, it's going to sort all of these filtered books in your library using that column, okay? So I'm going to sort based on community tags. You'll see that on the left-hand side, 358 of these 511 books do not have community tags. Mike, why are you doing this? Well, again, I'm using this as a way of helping me to kind of see what the rest of the community is utilizing for these books. And I'll pick one out, for example. So let's find one that's got several, okay? Let's do History Jewish, okay? So if you open these up, you're going to notice that these particular books are labeled. They're all labeled History Jewish, okay? I'm gonna go along with that. I'm gonna say all of these are Jewish history books. Now, making sure I'm following my tagging system, I'm gonna go back to my spreadsheet. I'm gonna do a Control F to use the search feature, okay? And I'm gonna search for Jewish, okay? Now you'll notice that there's several options. Bible Jewish, okay? There's religion Jewish, but notice down here in realms there is a section called history Jewish, okay? So these are history books that connect specifically to the Jewish culture is what the history Jewish is, okay? So I'm going to use, this is my tag, I'm going to use R dot capital history capital Jewish as my tagging system. So I'll go back to Logos. I will scroll down to these books that I'm looking at. I'm going to click the top one, not the title. I'm going to click outside the title. I'm going to hold Shift down while I click the bottom one. Okay, that will hold, that basically selects the top one, and it selects all of the books down to the one that you click next. Notice at the very top, I now have 5 resources selected. Okay, these are the ones that I want. I go to the tag, manage tag section, and now I'm going to type in the tag that I want. Okay, it was R dot history Jewish. Notice I already have one set up. Okay, if you don't have one set up, then you'll just need to finish typing it out and you click enter. Okay, so I'm going to click that one, and notice that all 5 of these books now in the column for my tags shows up as Jewish. Okay, history Jewish. Now you can add multiple tags. Okay, you'll notice that this particular book is the Exodus. Okay, you might say that this particular book deals with the book of Exodus, okay, or something else. I'm going to, just so that I show you guys, I'm going to add a tag to this particular book that's a Bible book. Remember, Bible book is BB, okay, BB dot. Now, you're going to want to know why I've got a numerical number in front of the book. Because as you add all of these tags, you're going to notice that they're in chronological order from my numbering. Okay, so I can very easily put this tag 04EX because that's for Exodus. Okay, that's again assuming that I want this to be a part of it. Now, notice that they also have labeled this as papyri. I don't think I have a subject in my spreadsheet for that. I might, but let me look. Okay, papyri. Okay, I do have one already in here. Fascinating. So I'm going to go ahead and tag that one as well. Okay, so I'll come in here and add S dot for subject, papyri. And again, I don't have one yet in here. That's why there's only one in here. So I'm just going to hit enter, and you'll notice that now I have 3. So notice that this particular book is labeled 3 different tags. The rest of them are labeled as one tag in my library. Now, you're going to have to spend some time going through. Some might wonder why you go through the meticulous nature of tagging books. Okay, I've already done this in my library. I'll just show you this real quick. I'm going to undo the community tag. I'm going to actually show you all of my tags in here. You'll see I've got tons of items already tagged. So if I'm looking for particular books in a particular segment, I can find them in my library easily. But more importantly, you're going to use these for search functions inside of your search feature in Logos. Okay, how do you do that? This is not an actual a seminar on that, but I will show you really quick. If you open your search, you'll notice that inside of your basic search, you can search all text, all passages for a particular tag. Okay, so let's say you want to look at all of your books in Genesis, and you want to find, the word spirit. You'll notice that the library searches very quickly for all the passages found in the tagged books here that relate to it. So here's a book, The Spirit of God, and this particular book, you'll see it fits my tag search because in the information it has this particular tag. Okay, so you're basically doing the heavy work It's meticulous. It takes hours of time, okay? But it will allow you to further drill down, okay? The beauty of Logos is that you can have a massive amount of books, but if you don't know how to search those books and search every single one of them in a specific way, you're not going to have the power or the beauty of your library at large. So with that being said, I hope that this was helpful. Again, I will also give you guys access to the actual Excel spreadsheet. We may make it available in a Google document so that it will be easy to share as well. But I hope this was helpful. I hope that it made sense. This is my tagging system. I hope that it will help you better understand your library and that it will better help you understand who God is and explore His character and who He is through the use of Logos Bible Study software. Thank you so much, and God bless.